Tomorrow we leave for the $5 million World Poker Tour Golden Passport Invitational. To explain how we got here, I need to back up a few days. 4 days ago, we were sitting right here playing a free roll on the new Club WPT Gold website. 4,000 entrants, top 30 secure a ticket. Less than 1% make it, but suddenly, with 300 left, we are fourth in chips. We've been running hot. Go completely and utterly card dead. Now, this tournament was a hyper turbo to an extreme. 6-minute levels, blinds doubled every 3, and suddenly we were 57th with 90 left. We stayed calm. We found our spot. Put out a small raise with Queen 10 off in the button. We flop trips, and we take them for 3 streets of value. 13th with 70 left. So close. With how the tournament was structured, we were not in the clear just yet. If we won one more hand, we could fold into the money. 3 players limp to us. We're in the big blind and we check it. We flop a gut shot. It checks around. We hit our card. We have the queen high straight. Put out a small bet. It gets called by the under the gun player and then folds around. Goes to the river. It bricks out. Nothing comes in. We put out a bet of half our stack. He goes all in. If we were to call and lose, we'd be left with a single big blind. We're only getting beat by King 9 and Ace King, and he limped under the gun. We call. He turns over Ace King. We are left with a single big blind. Last place, with 56 people remaining. Now, this was the last hand before break. We are tired. We're exhausted. We have food poisoning. We want nothing more than to close the Chrome tab. Sit there on break, we text our friends the bad news, we get the GG texts. It's been a hell of a run. But you all know how the story ends. All you need is a chip and a chair. We get a shove through, and then another shove, and then another shove. We have 7 big blinds. We're back in this thing. We pick our spots. We find players who are vulnerable because they have big enough stacks that they can safely fold into. By picking our spots and being smart, build up a stack. 34 left. 33 left. 32 left. One of the shorter stacks. We go to hand play. Suddenly we have won our ticket to the biggest tournament in our lives in Las Vegas on Friday. And now we are on the way to the airport. We have spent the last week studying, playing as many tournaments as we can. I cannot believe this is happening. We have our wonderful wife who's been so supportive on letting us do this insane trip. We will have to catch it in Vegas. So we will see you then. We are at the beautiful Wynn Encore, about to check in, pick up a swag bag. We'll see how it goes. I'm sitting in my hotel room editing this video, and I'm just now realizing I never actually talked through what happened when we signed up. So World Poker Tour put on an amazing job. They hooked everyone up with a free backpack. It's very nice. Honestly, it's almost good enough I'd be using it backpacking. A World Poker Tour hat, very cool. A Yeti Club WPT Gold water bottle that my wife is almost certainly going to steal. We have, of course, our tournament entry. I'm going to cover up my Wynn rewards number, a physical gold passport, which, if things go good, we might frame later. And then a cool deck of cards that I've yet to open, and a zip-up hoodie that's actually, I don't know if you can tell, it's pretty nice material. So yeah, that's all that came. After we signed up, we headed over to the Wynn Poker Room where we did some 1-3, and I'll cut to the hand histories here. For this first hand, under the gun raises to 12, and in the +1, we 3-bet to 40 with ace king off, and it's called by the small blind. The flop comes out queen jack X. We c-bet $40, and he very quickly jams for 114 behind us.
Again.
Now we had just bluffed this villain off a pretty decent hand. We think we have up to 10 outs here, so 40% equity at the most, getting 4 to 1. We think it's a pretty decent call at the time. Ultimately, the villain had king queen, which sort of highlights the problem with a call like this. In all reality, the villain's going to be blocking a lot of our outs and ultimately making them not viable for us. In all reality, this probably should have been a fold, but we donated a decent bit of our stack and we go down to $300, which is where we are for this next hand. Under the gun limps, the low jack raises to 13, and we complete in the small blind with ace of spades, queen of diamonds.
I got 5 on
call it.
I'll take 5 on whoever. On this? Yeah.
The under the gun player calls as well, so we're going to a flop of about $40, and it comes out queen 8-7. Under the gun checks, and the low jack bets $25.
Come on, girls!
Trying to get value of top pair, top kicker. We raise it up to 70 here, and unfortunately we get the bad news. The moment we put the bet out, the under the gun player asks how much we have in our stack, which is never really what you want to hear, and he pretty quickly puts us all in, or just under all in, for about 220, and then the low jack completely rips it in. So we hem and haw for a while. In all reality, we don't have much of a decision here. Top pair, top kicker is just never good here. We do think about it, but ultimately, at least one of them has a set, and the other, if they don't have another set, probably have a combo draw of some kind. We did get a reveal because both players got it all in. The under the gun player had pocket sevens for bottom set, and the low jack had pocket kings for an overpair to the board. The board runs out clean, and pocket sevens takes it home. We're down to 235 in our stack for this next hand, which really highlights us failing to get value. Over 2 limps, I raised a cutoff to $15. The big blind and both limpers call. The flop comes out here, ace king 10 with 2 diamonds. It checks to us, and with the nuts here, and such a wet board, we really should be betting large, but we only put out a bet of $20. We get calls. We get a fold from the big blind, and then a call from the under the gun and low jack player. So we're going to a turn of $120, and ultimately our worst case scenario happens. We gave a great price to a flush draw, and the jack of diamonds comes on the board. So here it checks around. We give our opponents a free card, which comes the 9 of hearts. The low jack bets $25, and with us really not beating much here, in all reality, we're chopping to a lot of hands, and if we raise, we aren't getting called by worse, so we stick in the call, under the gun folds, and we are good, but ultimately, by choosing a smaller sizing on the flop, we really failed to get a lot of value out of this hand, and became scared of flush draws when they came in. So after several bad hands, we get into our last hand of the session. We raise under the gun +1 over a straddle to $20 with ace of hearts, 10 of hearts, and the cutoff and small blind both call.
Cutoff, small blind. You play 20? 20? Great bet.
So we're going to a flop of $60 here, and once again we have ace of hearts, 10 of hearts, and it comes out king 5-5.
Very nice race, I tell you that. He got a 2-5 table.
It checks to us.
I don't know if you guys want to go take a look.
We check it as well after thinking for a little bit, and the cutoff bet's $20.
Wow, unless you know somebody.
Here, I think we really can get away from this hand. Maybe it's a little bit nitty, but I think we can fold and live to fight another day. The small blind calls, and we decide to call as well here. The turn comes out a card that we think is pretty good for us. A 5/5 on the board, so we now have a board of king 5/5/5. We have a lot more kings in our range than the other two players, so it's a pot of 120, and we decide to just slightly overbet jam for 122. In reality, I don't think this is a great bluff spot. We really shouldn't even be in this hand at this point. We get a fairly quick call from the cutoff, and the small blind folds. And sure enough, the cutoff has king, queen off, and with no ace on the river, we are sent packing down our first $500 buy-in in Las Vegas. That was an absolute punt there at the end, but nice little cash session. It was a shame to drop buy-in, but got into some cool spots. Wish we really got value out of that Broadway straight, but tomorrow's the big day, and that's really all that matters. So we're gonna head over to the Crush Live Poker meetup, and then from there, gonna finally check into our hotel and get some sleep. And we have finally gotten to the Park MGM. We are staying here tonight before moving to Caesars Friday and Saturday. If you can't tell, this whole thing's kind of last minute. So between World Poker Tour, the rodeo, the NBA whatever cup, the Raiders game, and just being Las Vegas, it's already a busy weekend, so we've had to get creative. I'm about to edit and put this video out. I'm trying to get it up tonight before the tournament tomorrow, so I can give that my full focus. But I really appreciate you all watching. I hope I've been able to convey how incredible of an experience this is. I just want to let you know on a personal note, this isn't something I take for granted. The fact that we got this lucky is still just mind-blowing to me, and being able to take y'all along for the ride truly means a lot. I think back to when I was a beginner poker player and I was watching for the Ryan DePaulo vlogs, and he made that deep run into Colossus where he ended up placing third. And when he qualified for the final table, he just walked around saying, oh, this is so sick, over and over and over again. Well, that's really been the last week for me. Being able to come to Vegas, compete for all of this money, play against the legends such as Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, other very famous and well-renowned poker players. I mean, heck, we just got back from dinner with Bart Hansen and a couple other Crush Live Poker subscribers. Just being able to talk to them and meet other poker players and share this passion for the game, it's been such an experience. So I really appreciate you all watching. It means a lot. I guess throw subscribe if you want to follow along for the journey, but for now we're going to get this up, and the tournament's tomorrow, and I'll try to post an update as soon as I can. Let's do this.